The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol has obtained text messages from Donald Trump Jr. to then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, laying out a plan for his father to stay in office despite losing the 2020 election. Here's a look at the report from CNN.
This is a lengthy text that Donald Trump Jr. sent to Mark Meadows on November 5th, and as you rightly point out, it was 2 days after the election. It was while votes were still being counted, and it was before any of the major television networks had declared Joe Biden the winner. And in this lengthy text, Donald Trump Jr. lays out a number of operational legal strategies that the Trump campaign and Republican operatives across the country would then go on to employ. A lot of these legal theories would not come out until weeks, sometimes months later. But what this text tells us is that there were already discussions at the highest level of the Trump family, within the Trump orbit, about some of these legal strategies that were mainly rejected across the country by a variety of judges. And within this text, Donald Trump Jr. Suggests that it is the Republicans that have the control, that they would be able to use these questionable legal theories in order to keep Donald Trump in office for a second term. I'll just give you an example of some of the things that Donald Trump Jr. suggested that they should pursue. Creating an alternate slate of fake electors. That was one of his suggestions in this text message. This is something that we know that Rudy Giuliani and those close to the Trump administration attempted to employ. There were a number of individuals within the Republican Party that actually gathered together and submitted a false set of electors to Vice President Pence and the United States Congress. This is something Donald Trump Jr. talking to Mark Meadows via text about on November 5th. He also talked about pushing the vote back to the state legislatures. We also know this was a legal theory that Trump and his allies were attempting to pursue. And he also talked about forcing a scenario where neither candidate had enough electoral votes to win, leaving it to the House to vote by state delegation to elect a president. Again, another legal theory floated by the Trump campaign.
In a statement to CNN, Trump Jr.'s lawyer, Alan S. Futuris, said after the election, Don received numerous messages from supporters and others. Given the date, this message likely originated from someone else and was forwarded. The text from Trump Jr. is revealing on a number of levels. It shows how those closest to the former president were already exchanging ideas for how to overturn the election months before the January 6th insurrection and before all the votes were even counted. It would be another 2 days before major news outlets declared Joe Biden the winner on November 7th. The text also adds to a growing body of evidence of how Trump's inner circle was actively engaged in discussing how to challenge the election results. On March 28th, Judge David Carter, a federal judge in California, said that Trump, along with conservative lawyer John Eastman, launched an unprecedented campaign to overturn a Democratic election, calling it a coup in search of a legal theory. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to visit us at rawstory.com. And if you'd like to see more of the Raw Report, please like and subscribe and join others who like their news raw too.